In the business of love and in the business of chocolates, no one could ever beat the Heartbroken Chocolatier. She had taught her fingers and her taste buds to envision the pain of a person. A simple conversion from degrees of separation to scales of sugar and milk weighed carefully on the balance of misery and mercy. Her gustatory senses were attuned to the sweet tooth cravings of every stranger that passed through her door. You see, she had come up with a system of curing heartache with cocoa and some caramel. To the young woman with swift feet and her nose in the air, she would push some bonbons. "I know you like tough exteriors," she'd whisper. "I know you want your hands to push hard on age-old scales. You ache to feel their pain raking through the field of your heart as if your autumn could ever replenish some spring in them. I know you imagine yourself a savior. But darling, you don't deserve to be hurt. Voluntary scars and scratches aren't the only signs of a warrior. You need a little cream filling in your life. A little surprise to say, soft insides are also warrior hearts." To the child down the street, she would wish on him some coconut-shelled candy. She would stuff them in his sweaters as he whizzed past the street. She would beg his friends to drop them off on street corners, hide them carefully. She would instruct every elf on 2 feet. He likes an adventure. He sees the world as a ship to be conquered. Even if pirates were his overlords and tyrants his best friends, he would still put his ear to the ground for the first sign of a treasure hunt. And every hero deserves a toffee to gulp down with his juice box. To the old man with a broken smile, she would woo him with hot chocolate. "Don't let it get too cold," she'd warn him. And she isn't talking about his drink, for she notices the way he looks at the granny next door, his hands itching to knit themselves with hers, just the way she knits her sweaters, each thread wound so tight, you were convinced it was destiny. Her favorites were the glass candies she would leave out by the front door. She left them like nomadic tribes. They were meant to walk free, never return, for they never belonged to one place, one person, or one heart. And as pieces of her glass candies left her altar to faraway lands, to misguided circus men, to weeping willows of women, to vagabond children, she felt her heart break. Like the pieces of glass candies she would leave out by the front door, because the Heartbroken Chocolatier was in the business of chocolates and in the business of love, and no one had quite learned to love her in return. Hello! Now, okay, what you just watched is a poem called The Heartbroken Chocolatier. It was inspired by one of my favorite books, Chocolat, which also has one of my favorite characters till date. It is something that I performed at Open Sky Slam's collaboration with Tata Institute of Social Sciences in Bombay, which happened a few weeks back, the end of January to be precise. And it's also one of my pieces that I am the most confident about, because I think it's a fun story to tell. It also happens to be the first video format of spoken word poetry that I've ever put up on the internet, which is nerve-wracking. Also, I don't know how this will turn out, but I'm hoping the world will be nice about it. A huge list of people I need to thank is Deeptin, Shruti, Vishruti, Nalin, and Aditya, and the entire Open Sky family. Thank you for letting me experiment my poems on you for over 2 years now. Thank you for believing in my poetry when I didn't. Thank you for believing in me when I usually don't. So, there's that. And a lot of you this would be the first time for a lot of you to see me perform my poetry, and this is how I look like. I use my hands a lot, and I do have an accent. I will accept it, but it's there, guys. I hope you like what you saw. I hope you liked the poem, and if you'd like to watch more of my live performances, you can come to Lahe Lahe's Mehfil, which will be happening on Feb 19th, this month, Feb 19th. And if you'd like more details about the event or when it's happening or where, I will put the details in the description. I will link their Facebook event so you can find out what's going on. But yes, you can come and watch me. Please come and watch me. And now I have to wait for the internet to deal with it. Yeah. Bye-bye.